Hi, I'm Movie Cat, and you are watching Fantastic Crap. That is right, folks. You aren't imagining this. It's a brand new Fantastic Crap episode. I know, it's been a while, but there have been, issues. But now, it seems we are at a point where we can start laughing at B-movies with love once again. For this exact episode, we're using a brand new camera for the very first time, so consider this a test episode. And because of that, we decided just to do a short one and not do any type of movie that we would have to spend a lot of time on, like we normally do. But don't worry, today's feature is still a fun one. A 1992 action film that wants to be a buddy action comedy that succeeds, when it's actually trying to be a buddy action comedy. But we will get to that. Anywho, the movie is called Delta Heat and stars Anthony Edwards and the always fantastic Lance Henriksen. So let's drive right into it, shall we? So, we open our movie visiting the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Oh wait, we start our movie with a hooker instead. And I'm there visiting for some reason. Yeah, shit is really going to go down now. It turns out the woman leaves a note there, hidden for a cop who was investigating something. But of course, he isn't way over his head.
Look, it all tracks back to a local, a guy named Forbes. Antoine Forbes.
Did he just get stabbed by Darkman? See, this is why you should never work for Robert G. Durant. Anyway, the person he was talking to on the phone is Bishop, played by Anthony Edwards, who played Gilbert in The Revenge of the... Thank you, Ogre? Yeah, he played in the two famous 80s comedies, Revenge of the... Nerd! Okay, cut that out! Anyway, Edward plays a fellow cop and has arrived there at the New Orleans to figure out what has happened.
Excuse me, boy, you, Bishop, LAPD?
Yeah?
Detective LaSalle, NOPD, and this is Detective Claiborne.
Yeah, just how long you plan on standing in New Orleans, boy?
Wow, in New Orleans everyone calls people boy, even black people. Am I going to get canceled for this? Ow.
What's it like? Hollywood.
No, it's, not so much. It's like
This must be where all the non-smokers in hell go to when they die. They inform him that his partner was murdered, and he tells them they were investigating a new mystery drug that has been running around, so they take him to see their captain.
My partner was working on the inside and some serious weight being brought in. He didn't have a handle on it and the clock was ticking down.
Is that LA police jargon I'm unfamiliar with, Detective?
There is no way in hell the movie could make it even more obvious that this is our villain here, unless the guy just starts shooting everyone in the face while monologuing to the hero about it. Ow. So, Bishop follows up on his only clue, which leads him to ex-police officer Jackson Rivers, who has a history with the drugs Bishop's partner was tracking. Bishop makes a trip all the way out to the swamps to find Jackson, but Jackson finds him first with a rope trap.
Now, Macaroni.
What did he just say?
He asked if you all was a fag.
What'd you tell him?
I said, no, you a pimp.
Uh-oh. Now the movie is going to get canceled.
There was a big explosion and blew me and my buddy into the bayou.
Jackson tells Bishop about the major drug bust that went wrong, which is also where he lost his hand. Oh no! He got attacked by an alligator puppet. They must be frequent in the South. I don't know much about puppets, though. I'm only a pretty little kitty. Why are you smirking? So, Bishop's partner had his heart cut out like it was some part of odd voodoo ritual, and the drug dealer from the previous flashback was also a serial killer who cut out people's hearts. But he was supposed to have died in an explosion. So, of course, dealing with all of this, Bishop gets a bit paranoid and nervous to the point where he starts thinking people are snooping around his hotel room at night.
Where are those extra towels?
Now that is how you handle the hired help. Let them know exactly who's in charge. Ow. Oh, and then when he goes back to his room, he finds a fresh heart in his bed. Turns out he wasn't paranoid after all. But that part isn't important. I had to show the old lady getting a gun in her face instead, which always takes top priority. Hey, this is my show, and I will run it how I see fit. Now, anyway, this leads Jackson to clean himself up and come out of retirement from his swamp and come back to the police station to help solve the case. But let's just say, that there is still a bit of friction left between him and his past co-workers.
Because of him, good men got killed. And they were our friends!
Movie rule number 1. Never screw with Lance Henriksen. Period. So, just like that, Jackson is back on the case, partnered with Bishop, of course, and they set up to find their killer. But while on the mean street of New Orleans, Bishop runs into the most horrifying evil imaginable. Yeah, that would make me stop and go back to L.A. right then and there. So, I know a lot of you are saying, but Movie Cat, how are the two heroes' chemistry together? Do their personalities bounce off each other? Are they a fun buddy movie team?
This your truck? What are we doing, little Abner here? Come on, I'll go talk to the sergeant and requisition another vehicle, okay?
Boy, you're making my tits heavy. I'll tell you that.
I'm what?
You want another car?
I'm
Get
making your
another
tits
car.
heavy?
You know your way around here?
I don't understand a word you say.
Well, good.
Yes. Yes, they are. A+. So, the two cops follow up on clues and talks to someone who may know something, but he tries to run, which leads them through a chase full of all kinds of shenanigans and mishaps. When they catch him, naturally he won't talk, so they find a creative way to make him more willing to spill the beans.
Say here that Durrell told you that Forbes had a warehouse. Pothole. But no one followed up on it.
Once again, never screw with Lance Henriksen.
I'm gonna kill you!
No, I don't know how you do it, Durrell. The heat from that engine ought to be flambéing your gonads by now.
Look!
Also, only a true badass drives with his claw.
You're dead, and you know it!
Yes, that is indeed the correct response when Lance motherfucking Henriksen comes at you with a hammer. So, they end up going to a club, restaurant type place, and the two officers they had an issue with before are there, and of course decide to start crap again. But, again, what is rule number 1?
That swamp you come from, but it ain't proper to beat up on a cripple.
I hear you.
That's right! You got it! Because breaking this rule usually ends up in having the I have your balls by my hook dance.
Let's dance.
Bishop has a conversation with a big lead / love interest when her mysterious villain decides to leave them a message. Yeah, it was a quick job for a decent paycheck. Hey, when you are a cat actor struggling in Hollywood, you take whatever small parts they throw at you, okay? So, though, Hollywood really did like stringing me along. Anyway, after this, Bishop goes on a large investigation following clues, mostly by himself, since this movie seems to have forgotten it's a buddy movie, though Jackson does show up briefly to throw snakes on a witness. Sorry, but that's funny. But then it is Bishop by himself, going back trying to solve the case by himself. Bishop unravels some major clues and finds out that the original drug dealer is indeed still alive, but badly disfigured and in a coma-like state, being hidden in a nursing home hired by the drug dealer's daughter / love interest. Oh, and Bishop gets some information that points to Jackson as possibly being the big bad behind this. Gasp! So, after more evidence pointing at Jackson, Bishop finds him and confronts him while managing to slap handcuffs to the both of them, which leads to a giant fight. And yes, it's just as fun as you would imagine.
How'd you like that?
Not bad.
You know, when these two are together doing their thing, this movie flies in awesomeness. But when it's just Bishop by himself, it kind of drags. And Bishop is by himself way too often. So, not surprisingly, Jackson wins the fight and knocks out Bishop and escapes. So, after that, the comatose drug dealer is murdered by a masked man and his daughter is kidnapped. Now that Jackson seems to be the bad guy, Bishop teams up with the asshole pair of cops to track Jackson down. They go back to his house in the middle of the swamp, but when they get there...
Back away from her!
You should have gotten on that plane back to L.A.
Oh, he was the real villain all along. No way. Who would have seen that? You know what? I don't feel like doing this bit. Just show the damn bird clip. He does it way better than me anyway.
Oh, there's a big surprise. That's an incredible... I think I'm gonna have a heart attack and die from that surprise.
So, he gets handcuffed to Jackson again, and they manage to escape and flee into the swamp, still handcuffed to each other. The two cops give chase, but obviously they did not watch the front of the movie and didn't know that this swamp was booby-trapped. Killed two cops with one rope. Well, to be fair, the other cop didn't really die here.
It's usually the last place they search.
This is where the rubber meets the road.
dies after Bishop shoots him with his penis. So, they make it back to the house to catch the bad guy, dosing the place with gasoline to clear his tracks, but they light it up for him a bit early, and he becomes a crispy critter. What a delicacy! Fried crab police chief. Now that is an old-fashioned southern cooking recipe right there. So, the heroes escape their burning house, but fall pretty much at the same place the bad guy fell.
You have a key? No.
You know, if the movie had ended here, I would have been fine with it. It would have been a fun way to end things, honestly. The movie does go on for a few more minutes, with a nice send-off to the characters, though.
Whoa, what the hell's he doing in here?
That's my car alarm. They got them in California, don't they?
Your car alarm is eating my luggage.
What's left of it?
So, there we have it. Delta Heat is a fun buddy action comedy when it actually remembers it is supposed to be a fun action buddy comedy. Problem is that way too often Lance Henriksen's character just vanishes for no reason for large chunks of the movie, and we are left just with Bishop, which honestly bogs the movie down a tad. If they had let this be a full-flown buddy flick, this may have actually been more remembered today. Also, they mentioned the potential of Jackson visiting Bishop in L.A. one day, which could have been a fun sequel. Rush Hour 2 style, if done right. But alas, this movie is all we got. Those are the breaks, I guess. Anyway, I give Delta Heat 6 hairballs out of 10. I say it is over, but it turns out this is just one of 2 films set in New Orleans, co-starring Lance Henriksen, who probably plays one of the greatest villains next to Hans Gruber. But that is a fantastic crap for another time. Until then, kiddies, keep enjoying those wonderful B-movies. Ow! They inform him that they inform him that his partner. Why are my scripts so poorly written? And why can't I talk? I'm a cat. I shouldn't talk. My life is weird. They inform him that his partner was murdered, and he tells them they were investigating. Up until now, I hadn't been making mistakes. But now, this line. Who wrote this line? They inform him that his partner was murdered, and he tells them they were investigating a new mystery drug that has been running around. So they take him to see their captain. Was that a Discord ding? Why are we doing this with Discord on? Contact that person and tell him I'm going to eat his face. They inform him that his partner was murdered, and he tells them they would more Discord. They inform him that his partner was murdered, and he tells them they were investigating a new murder mystery drug. That's a great title for a book or a movie or something. I still hate this line. So, Bishop's partner had his heart cut out like it was part of some odd voodoo ritual, and the drug dealer from the previous flashback was also a serial killer who cut out people's hearts. But he was supposed to have died in the explosion. So of course, dealing with all of these... What? So of course, more script issues. You know it would be easier if I wouldn't read off a script and just go my own way? There'd be a lot less mistakes. So, just like that, Jackson is back on the case, partnered with Bishop, of course, and they set out to find their killer. But while on the mean streets of Los Angeles, this is... Wait, the script says St. Louis. This is New Orleans. What is our writer smoking? So, the two follows up on... Shouldn't have been the two cops? Why am I still reading from the script?